What up, my G's, and welcome to day 11 of the 30 days 30 balondor nominees challenge. And in today's video I'm gonna be discussing the season-long stats of a frontrunner of the balondor list, and which is Vinicius Junior. And we're going to be discussing that does he deserve to win the Ballon d'Or or not. So in the first segment we're going to be discussing his stats. Obviously he's an attacker, so I'll just put two main stats right here: the 26 goals and 12 assists in all competitions in the 23-24 season. Then in La Liga he had 0.71 xg per 90 minutes, which is a really good one, considering that he got injured for I guess at least 2 months, and that was a time that when Rodrigo stepped up big time, I remember. And then he made 158 dribbles in La Liga and 63 of them were successful. And he had 0.72 expected goals, which was the most for Real Madrid in La Liga. Okay, and he scored a goal in every 125 minutes he played. 7.38 was his average rating in La Liga, which is the 7th best in the league. So stats wise, he has had a pretty amazing season. We all know that what kind of a dribbler he is, and his 63 successful dribbles show us that. And he also did not lag behind in the goals or assists, even though he was injured for I guess 2 months. But still he just came back strong, because I guess the first half of the season for Vinicius Junior wasn't that much impressing, but the second half was a good one, with him stepping up big time in La Liga and in the Champions League, but more on that later. First we will discuss in the second segment the trophies he won. He won a total of 3 trophies: the Super Copa de España, the La Liga and the Champions League. So a total of 3 trophies, which could have been 4 if he had won the Copa America, but more on that later. Then we will discuss his impact. So he was the best attacker for Real Madrid last season, and in my opinion he had a bigger impact than Jude Bellingham had, because Jude Bellingham did not step up in the biggest of the games except for the El Clasico, of course, but Vinicius Junior was the one who stepped up big time in the Champions League and led Real Madrid to their 15th La Decima Quinto Champions League success, the 15th one. So I think that in the Champions League Vinicius Junior deserves, and he has won the player of the tournament, so that's one for him. And I guess that he was the player with the greatest impact in Real Madrid's success this season, and we all know that this was coming from the previous season as well, with Karim Benzema being always being assisted by Vinicius Junior, and that duo was incredible to see, and only the real ones have witnessed that one. So let's now come to the key moments that Vinicius Junior had in this season. So there were a lot of them, so I will just talk about the competition that everybody cares about, the Champions League. So in the Champions League he scored a brace against Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena away from home, of course, and one of them was a penalty and the other was the most beautiful pass of the last season by Toni Kroos, however I have talked about in my previous video, so go check that out as well. So that was a beautiful pass, and then Vinicius Junior converted it into a goal. Hats off to him. Hats off to Toni Kroos. Another key moment would be his golazo. Well, that might not be considered as a golazo, but his brilliant performance in the Champions League final against Dortmund, and we all know that he is a big game man. So he scored this in the semi-final, in the final as well. So very nice Champions League campaign this has been for Vinicius Junior. So in the final he did not just score a goal, his performance according to the dribbling was very nice as well, because I guess only one time when he was just running into the enemy box, then he just stopped in on the edge line, and then the defender was sent flying out of the park, and then just Matt Hummels just got that ball back and the play was over. But still, it was a beautiful dribble, and I remember that many of the memes and edits were made on that dribble as well. So let's next come to the setbacks Vinicius Junior faced for Real Madrid and Brazil. So for Real Madrid, I don't think that he had any of them, but for Brazil he had. The Seleção were unsuccessful in winning the Copa America, and I don't know how, because they have so much firepower in the form of Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, Endrick, Rafinha, Savinho, and all of them. The young talent, the young blood was there, but still they did not perform too much to the expectation that we all expected from the Seleção to perform. But still, they failed in winning the competition. There's a thing that me and other football enthusiasts have noticed, that when he plays for Real Madrid, he's probably the best player in the world, but when he puts on the shoes for Brazil, things change dramatically. I don't know if it is about the formation or the position that he's playing in, but still he has to step up one way or another if Brazil are to win the 2026 World Cup, which is highly unlikely because they're not even looking good to qualify for the World Cup, let alone getting into the finals and winning the whole tournament. But still, I hope that he improves in that sector. Next, we will come to his previous nominations, and he had two of them. Obviously, in the 2022 Ballon d'Or ceremony, he got 8th position because of his brilliant season. I guess that was his best season so far in terms of goals and assists, and maybe in terms of impact. But Benzema just snatched the spotlight from him, which he truly deserved, and he won the Ballon d'Or eventually. And in the 2023 Ballon d'Or ceremony, he got 6th. Drastic improvement. 2 place is a lot for a 22. I guess he was 22 then. 22-year-old player, a winger. That's the most prominent word, because a winger only provides most of the time provides assists and does not score many goals. The reason that Vinicius Junior was able to score many goals than his previous seasons was that he was playing as a more of a striker in the second half of the season. Anyhow, he performed really brilliantly, and if we just look at his goals and assists, they would not seem many, but if you have watched his matches and if you know how big of an impact he had in Real Madrid's success, you will know that he is the front runner for the Ballon d'Or. So let's now come to the point that you've all been waiting for throughout this whole video. If you have watched until now, please consider subscribing to Papaya Talks Footy. We are on a roll. It's day 11 of the 30 days 30 Ballon d'Or nominees challenge, and we will continue with your support and with my hard work. So my prediction for Jude Bellingham, drumroll please, to win the 2024 Ballon d'Or will be, he will come out as the eventual winner. The first position will be his, because I guess everybody knows why, because I don't know, but still, Rodri played brilliantly, Jude Bellingham played brilliantly, Lautaro Martinez played brilliantly, but no one comes close in the form of impact as Vinicius Junior for club. And there might be some attacker bias or the recency bias in this, but I don't know and I don't care, because I just want a Real Madrid player to win the Ballon d'Or. Because if you haven't noticed that I'm wearing this Real Madrid shirt because I'm a Madridista, let me just kiss the bag. So this was my prediction, and I'll see you guys in the next video where I'll be discussing the season-long stats of another Ballon d'Or winner, and does he deserve to win the Ballon d'Or? Adios!